You know, I did one of the worst houses on Hoarders. Joe Rogan just had it on his podcast. They were talking about this house, the poop lady house.
Don't show it. Don't show it. I'm the only one I think who thinks this is hilarious.
Oh my God, there's shit everywhere. Shut the up.
She lives in a shit house.
Oh my God, I'm gonna throw up.
In this episode, you're gonna hear the incredible story of James Dayner. He's done over $1 billion of deals and even has his own Hulu TV series.
$1 Million Zombie Flips follows real estate expert James Dayner and his team as they hunt for and fix and flip zombie houses in our area.
For the regular viewers of the show, I apologize. I'm not gonna be in the next few episodes. I'm getting ready to launch the most insane AI real estate tech that we've ever built. It's gonna change the entire real estate investing industry forever. But until then, enjoy the episodes.
You've been buying homes for what, 25 years? You've seen some crazy shit. I have seen stuff I've never seen in a house before.
Like?
Oh, this is gnarly. I think I might have bought a triple murder.
21 years. How'd you get started in the game? Give us the background.
21 years, actually, I kind of stumbled into it. So my business partner today, Will Heaton, we're 50-50 partners on all of our businesses.
Okay.
He was my roommate at the time, and I was a senior in college. And he sold a car to a large investment company that did foreclosure auctions and off market.
Okay.
And they're like, you gotta come work for me. So he took the job, and when I was a senior in college, I was like, you know what, I need to get sales experience.
Yep.
And I had already done internships, I was working full-time, college full-time. And I was like, you know what, I'll go knock on doors. Let's just see what happens.
Yep.
And I was actually trying to get into medical device sales out of school.
I could see you doing that. You're just a hustler.
It was, you know, I saw potential. So in senior college, I started knocking doors. I was going to school full time. I was working 30 hours a week as a bartender on the weekend, and then I would knock doors from 4 o'clock to 8:30 or 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday. And I was terrible at it. Knocked doors the entire college year. I did one deal.
No kidding.
And I made $2,200.
Wow.
And so when I got done to graduate, I actually had an offer to go work at a company as a intro salesperson. And honestly, I was gonna quit. I was like, this job sucks. I'm terrible at this. But then randomly, my wife was like, you know what? I think you need to just try this for 2 months straight. Mm-hmm. You've been putting in your time.
Yeah.
And for some reason, that is not her. She's more like, hey, safety, structure.
Yeah.
And you know, I said, you know what? I'm gonna apply myself. I quit my bartending job, so I had to do it.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, the lights just turned on. And we went from, I did one deal in 9 months to all of a sudden we started doing 2 deals a month, 3 deals a month, 5 deals a month, 15 deals a month.
Oh my God.
And we started cranking out deals until 2008 happened.
Wow.
And we got
So
rocked.
talk about those deals. Were you wholesaling? Were you digesting these? Were you fixing flipping? What were these deals?
So it was, because I worked for an investment company.
Okay.
Great company, still talk to them today, good group of guys. And so they would come in, they would give us the pricing that they could buy it for. And then we would go out there, we knew what we had to make, and we get a percentage of the spread. It wasn't very much.
Sure.
But the cool thing about that company is if you did a certain amount of deals, they would help you buy one of those. And so after I had done like my 10th deal, I saved up like 25, 30 grand.
Yeah.
I got another investor that was selling deals to, and the owners of that company, and they helped me get my first deal done, which was just a very simple 2002 townhome.
Yep.
Carpet and paint job,
Yep.
appliances, and that's where I started learning how to flip.
Got it.
And that's like the old school flip where I cleaned the carpets myself, I rolled the paint on myself,
Wow.
got the appliances used,
Yep.
and you know, like the way you had to do it when you first started.
Sweat equity.
Sweat equity.
Yeah.
And it was in the hood, and I would be there till like midnight cleaning the place, and I ended up making like 25 grand on that.
Right.
And I doubled my money, and I was like, oh, I'm in.
You were hooked at that point.
I was hooked. And you know, mostly I think I got hooked once I started getting good at deals, because I just get that like the money's great about this business.
Sure.
But I just love the deal.
Yeah. I'm the same way.
Like,
is it about the money anymore for you? Is it about just doing deals?
It's always been about the deals.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like that, you know, some people are athletes and they're competitive. Some people have all sorts of hobbies. My hobby, I think, is just like you. I like getting the deal done.
Yes.
Nothing
Signing
beats
that
that.
contract, getting the deal inked.
Who cares about a 3-point buzzer beater?
Sure.
I'd rather buy a shithole.
100%.
Yeah, get that deal done, especially when everyone else wants it.
Yeah.
Or they say you can't do it.
Sure.
Those are
Because you're super competitive, you know? Go all in on yourself. You're
Well,
the best captain of your own domain.
Yeah, I mean, it's that drive that pushes us, right? But this is a tough business. And over 21 years, I've seen a lot. I've seen all the things, ups, downs, financial collapse, contractors. Like, there's so many things that happen over, the stuff that people don't talk about. They always talk about, financial freedom. You just buy real estate, you get cash flow, and you're set.
Yeah, it's easy.
It's
one,
easy.
2, 3, set it and forget it. No real, work needed.
No, I mean, why would you? Yeah, it's just
We're
easy.
being facetious, of course.
So,
Yeah.
but it's just a passion I have. I love getting a deal done. And over the last 21 years, we went from just being wholesalers to we built a brokerage that offers kind of soup to nuts for investors, where we find the deal, we budget it for them, we design it for them, and kind of give them the blueprint to take it through. And then we do the financing for them. So when they close, we provide them with the construction financing, we do the listing service. And from there, we've gone from flipping to apartments to single family, and then ground up construction. So we are in all the fields.
We call that vertical full integration.
Yeah, we call it being a deal junkie. You just can't help but do the deal. So it's been a very, very wild journey.
Yeah.
But we're up to almost 1,000 doors in Seattle. Everything we do is value add, heavy construction.
Yeah.
And then we are building like 40, 50 homes a year there. And then we flip ourselves about 100 a year.
That's a huge volume. How big is your team?
It definitely ranges. So overall, we have about 100 people between all of our companies.
Yeah.
So, and they're all isolated because we do all in-house property management for all our units.
Yeah.
Building, we build in-house, so it's ran by superintendents, project managers, accounting staff, product delivery.
Yeah.
And then our flipping team, we run. There's like 5 or 6 people that are just running it, from assistants, project managers, and that's definitely. But one thing I have learned is going too big is not a good thing.
Sure.
Keep it tight.
Yeah.
And keep it nimble.
How are you finding, now you have a TV show out there, $1 Million Zombie Flips.
Never thought that was gonna happen.
It's insane. Great show. I mean, you buy I thought I buy nasty, and some
You
of the
buy
stuff
some nasties.
We both buy some horrific condemned houses that are just horrible. But some of the stuff I see, mold in the basement, and the hoarders, and the drugs, and the urine and feces, and you're getting your hands in this stuff. You don't give a shit. You are deep in this.
I don't mind touching. I don't know what it is. It's
I understand. You're a sicko. You're a sicko.
But because you've seen a lot of things, but you've been buying homes for what, 25 years?
23 years.
23
Yeah,
years.
24 this year, yeah.
24. You've seen some crazy shit.
I think I've seen it all. I've never been I haven't walked in something and said, I can't handle this, or, oh my God. At this point, it's just normal.
But aren't you always looking for that next thing where you're like, holy crap, I can't believe I just saw this?
I mean, it doesn't stun me. I just expect the worst. And so I go in there, the smells, all of it. I'm just kind of immune to it at this point.
You know what?
I really am.
Until I'm always looking for that next thing. Like, even recently, I bought a house 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I have seen stuff I've never seen in a house before.
Like?
Oh, this is gnarly.
People want to hear these stories.
I think I might have bought a triple murder house.
Wow. I know I saw when you opened it, there was blood splattered.
Blood splatter. And so I bought this house sight unseen. It's a bank-owned property, which doesn't even come up that much anymore.
Sure.
Tweakers got in, stripped all the wiring out, stripped all the plumbing out. They ripped the fireplace out. Then they installed their own 100-year-old fireplace. House is smoked out, it's trenched out, reeks. And we bought it sight unseen, didn't know anything about it until I shut so we're doing our initial walkthrough and we shut the door, and there's tweaker writing all over it. And I've seen that plenty of times.
Sure.
But this was a story.
Yeah.
A story about Billy Blaine and how Billy Blaine murdered 3 people in this house. And I'm like, okay, this is a little weird.
Yeah.
And then we find the next room.
Oh.
And it is blood splatter central. There's blood on the roof. There's blood inside. There's a big bag of meth. I hadn't seen that much meth that hadn't been smoked up before.
Oh my God.
And the worst part is we start exploring this property, 10 acres.
Yeah.
We find cemetery graves everywhere.
What do you do in that situation?
Pray that they're animals.
Right.
So I'm hoping it's pet cemeteries everywhere. But
you dig them up, or what are you gonna do?
I haven't figured that out yet.
That's interesting. I have not experienced that before. That's crazy.
No, but we did. One was shallow, and I saw a Red Cross blanket. I'm like, no, Red Cross blanket. That's not an animal. That's not a veterinary blanket. That's a Red Cross. So I pull this blanket out, Oh, bro, it stunk so bad. And it was an animal. It was
Okay,
dog.
thank God.
But dude, that stench.
Oh my
It was
God.
gnarly. But
insane.
the gnarlier the house, the more potential there is,
Absolutely.
right? And so I think a lot of things that scare people off, which are the unknowns, you can always put together a plan and factor in the unknowns. Now, I can't factor in dead bodies.
Sure.
But, right now we've got that place budgeted out. We're going to try to get this thing done in 10 weeks. And the upside on this property, when everyone else is a little nervous about it, is massive. We paid $805. We're putting in probably $275 into the renovation and the landscaping. So landscaping is a big deal in this. It's worth minimum 1.5, 1.6.
Great deal.
We can turn it in 12 weeks. But the kicker is, this is 10 acres that have been developed pretty well, just overgrown. I might be able to chop 5 acres off the bat.
And sell it for your basis.
The dirt alone's worth 300.
Oh, okay.
And then the house still's worth 1.5, 1.6.
That's amazing, yeah.
And so when you can find that potential, that's how you can accelerate and grow. And it takes time to get there. Of
course.
Right? And, went from cleaning carpets to now taking on some pretty crazy stuff.
Absolutely. Let's talk about how are you finding these deals? I mean, always finding these acquisitions. Is it, the people that you mentor? Is it because of the TV show? Are you marketing for these deals? What's been your secret sauce to procure these opportunities?
Well, now I'm kind of like probably you, where I'm a magnet, where this is the worst house, I got to call James.
Yes. So you've developed that reputation over 2 decades.
Yeah, yes. Because
And you dominate, so your market, so if you're watching this and you're a wholesaler, to give you some, additional opportunities, where do you focus on right now?
So for the wholesalers or for myself?
For yourself, Pacific Northwest.
Pacific Northwest right now, and we want to get going down in Arizona.
Okay.
We just need time.
Welcome
to
the
set up.
competition, send them some deals too. There's an abundance of opportunities.
I do so many deals with people we compete with up in Seattle.
Exactly.
Like it's just, as long as you're on the same page with them, like-minded, same integrity,
Yeah, of
same,
course.
then you could do deals with your competitors or not.
100%.
But it's, where we get most of our deal flow is we do have our direct-to-seller campaign ourselves. So
Okay.
we send direct-to-seller. Typically, we're going to put together 5 to 10 deals a month that way. We also get a lot of brokers reach out to us, and we buy a lot of on-market deals. When people say there's no deals on market, that is the most unfactual thing I've ever heard. There's more potential on market, in my opinion, at least where I am,
Okay.
than there is off market, because it doesn't have that off market sizzle where you can get a real deal. People look at it and they go, I'm not really into this. And you can have a true negotiation with the seller based on what they actually have, not spinning this off market thing and the sizzle of the off market. So we get a lot of deals on market, but that's also because we're buying heavy fixers. These are not cosmetic.
Yeah.
Cosmetic, not
And there's
a lot.
probably, a very, minute amount of buyers for this heavy distress stuff. What you're doing is a lot of surgery. You have a unique niche. There's not like 100 other investors that want to take on this high level of capacity and hardship and headache. I mean, candidly. You know what I'm saying? They're not buying like your first deal where it's carpet and paint. Anyone can procure that deal. When you're buying something like this, you got permits, you need licensed contractors, you need a major team to develop. I mean, this is some heavy lifting. A lot of people are fearful of those opportunities. True?
True, and it's about how you plan the construction. I'm a big, I always think the biggest lie in real estate is the money's made on the buy. I hear it all the time. That's true, you gotta get a good deal, but you have to execute on that good deal.
Sure.
And we can take something and look at it and go, we can make this profitable by this plan. Whereas a lot of people only look at it one way.
Sure.
And so it's all about how you cut it out, how you plan out that construction to control your costs. And we invent the returns on these properties. Because if maybe another investor bought it, it would not be profitable. But if you can put together the right plan on the house and control your costs, you're inventing the return. And so that's what we do. We look at something and go, how can we manipulate this structure to get it to the highest and best use, the most profitable, with the least path of resistance, and control the cost.
Yep.
And that's what I've learned about this business. It's really a science.
It is.
You got it. It's not just hire the contractor, voila, it's done.
Sure.
You have to control the cost, put the right plan on it. And so how you frame your walls, how you lay out the house will make a big difference in how you control that cost and what you'll sell it for. That's what we do well.
Yeah.
And in part of that is we learned that in 2008 when no one would buy houses. We were going in the deep end on these homes. And it's like we had to figure out how to make these profitable and control our costs.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't a whole lot of money in these houses, 2008, 9, and 10.
Sure.
So if you were over budget, that was a big chunk of your profit.
Yeah.
And so, It's all about teaching yourself self-knowledge, and you just got to jump in and learn those hard lessons. We can do these lessons because we've lost money.
Sure.
And we've taken some hits.
Yeah.
And so, but there is always potential. It's just how do you do it?
Yeah. I recognize on a lot of stuff that you're buying, you're doing a lot of value add plays. You're either adding square footage, you're pulling off roofs. I mean, you're making major modifications to the structure. Why that versus, and having this huge exposure with these $1 million+ your show's $1 million zombie flips, for example. Yeah. Why not take on these $400,000 or $500,000 houses? Are you finding there's less competition at this higher end, or your margins are way better at this end? Like, why this niche compared to stuff that I do at the $300,000 to $500,000 mark?
I would prefer to do $300,000 to $500,000.
Okay.
You can get in and out of the construction. It's less brain damage.
Yeah.
It's a lot less risky because you're not so financially exposed. You go through a bad time, it hurts. Yeah. But the upside's there for us, and I like to play in no man's land. Right. So, when people think I only do expensive properties, it's not. It's what is the least desired type of property that people want, and I go make a plan for those properties. Because when you're playing in no man's land, you get the properties so much deeper because there's no competition. When there's no demand, you're the only buyer.
100%.
You can have a true negotiation. Yeah. And we do the same thing with our multifamily as well.
All right, so your niche is more the value add instead of the 4 to 6s. Obviously, you find there's less competition. You can kind of create that exit price point by your knowledge and execution and team effectively.
Well, yeah, and it's like what you buy, right? I've seen what you buy.
Yeah.
I've walked through one.
Sure.
Smell like gas for 3 days afterwards.
Absolutely.
It's my kind of deal where you can taste it. That's always a good thing. But like a lot of people would look at that and go, absolutely not, right? Like I remember that house you sent me by. The trash out bill alone for someone would kill their profit. But you know how to systematically put it together to where no one else might not want that, but because you can execute on that, you get a really good buy. And so, but playing no man's land, that's whenever there's a trend going on, I go the complete opposite direction. Whether it's everyone's doing sub 2 or novation or, short-term rentals, midterm, like whatever the trend is.
I don't do any of those things you just spoke about. I'm all cash, very highly focused. I buy with tremendous equity, and deals that I buy have multiple exits. I can either flip it and make money, or I can stabilize it, retain it, and get a good cash-on-cash return. So that's how I provide mitigation of risk in the market, by having multiple exits. So no matter worst case scenario happens, I retain it in the portfolio, and I have good cash flow.
Well, and that's why I do envy your business model. Because you can do either way. Yeah. When I'm deep
on
into
those high-end ones, there's no way you're going to cash flow on those.
It is, you are selling, and you better sell it for more than what you're into it for.
Yeah.
There is no exit but sell.
Right.
And so that's, the older I get though, I do want to kind of transition. I mean, when you have all your chips on the table, you don't want to pull Seahawks in the Super Bowl where you're on the 1.
Yeah.
And all you got to do is just get into the end zone and you throw a pick, right? And so that's part of my goal, is to get down to Arizona, not because there's not plenty of risk down here. I mean, look at where we're at right now. This is a cool project.
Sure.
But there's more potential as a landlord here to me.
Yeah.
It's gotten tough in Seattle landlord, but also you can buy houses to where you can pick them up in the 2s and 3s.
Absolutely.
And, start building out. It's funny, the bigger people get, they're like, oh, you're doing more multi. I'm like, yeah, I do multi, but I love a burr property.
Right.
I think it is one of the best investments you can ever make.
1,000%. Because you can do it for infinity effectively. If you buy so diligently, you can recycle 100% of your money on a good deal by stabilizing and pulling out your original investment and value add money, 100%. It still cash flows, and basically you redeploy that original investment a zillion times if you do it effectively.
Yeah, you can recycle, and you can build out and when you're creating 20% equity.
Yep. That's the magic number.
Like 20%, right? On a $400,000 house, that's $80,000. You do that 10 times, that's $800,000. You do it 20 times, $1.6 million.
Yeah.
Like that is something anybody can do, and that's how we start, right? Is with that first burr property.
Yep.
Create that equity, and then how do you trade that equity around? Because do you sell any of yours?
I sell very few.
Very few.
Mostly, I've learned. So in the beginning of my career, I was flipping everything, and I realized, wow, paying 40% taxes is not sexy. Wow, the market's been continuing to rise. What if I just said, in hindsight, I stabilized these 100 homes that I bought and flipped? Oh my God, I would have made millions of dollars more. Yep. But it's still, I don't,
But do you 1031 them ever?
I don't. because I'm an active trader. So I happen to pay a lot. So that's why I don't sell a lot, number one. And it's worked well by, paying taxes, you're bankable, right? If you're not, if you're 1031ing everything and I go to the bank and get leverage and they say, Zach, you've made no money, I'm not going to get good, cheap leverage. Otherwise, I'm paying hard money and then these deals won't make sense.
Yeah, you got to pay taxes.
Got to pay the taxes. You got to pay to play one way or another.
Well, yeah. Well, you see what they just passed in Seattle?
What did they pass in
The
Seattle?
millionaire tax.
Oh.
10% income tax on us.
No way.
Yep. They just got passed, didn't even get voted in.
Wow.
It just got voted by the House.
Unreal.
10%, and that's another reason I got to get out of that state. And now I will never leave Seattle. We know what we're doing.
Yep.
We have the contacts. I know that market like the back of my hand, but I definitely want to diversify into different markets.
Yeah.
And I was looking in California. I got some projects going there. Not my state either for that.
Sure.
But
Your Newport Beach project's beautiful.
that is a beast.
I
We
love
both got
watching
beast
a
projects
little.
going on.
Yeah. I love watching the incremental, enhancements you've made there. It's incredible. But your balls are massive because you take on these $5 million deals like it's my $400,000 house. Truly. Do you sleep well at night?
Who's got time to sleep?
Oh, okay, my bad. But is there any projects you have going on right now that you're nervous about?
Oh, always.
Okay.
I mean, right now, the whole portfolio, anytime you have economic uncertainty,
Yeah.
right? You don't know what could happen because what I have learned in 20 years is everything you think is going to happen is not going to happen.
Sure.
And, we got wars popping off.
Yeah.
We got energy shooting through the roof. We got labor issues still. Getting people to work and getting them to hit your numbers is very difficult right now.
Sure.
Supplies are still expensive. And they have not came down, even though the tariffs came, a little bit here and there.
Yeah,
But when
not
you're going
much.
in and you have a frothy market on a bull run and you have economic uncertainty, and if the wrong bomb goes off somewhere, that is detrimental.
Yeah.
And so, if you do feel that as an investor, you got to pull some chips off the table. Now, right now, I got a lot of chips there. So what do? We move fast.
Yeah.
Like you got to get your projects done. And so even right now with what's going on, I'm okay spending more on the house, but we got to get it done.
Yeah.
And so, that is the name of our game right now. Push to finish, get them to market, even if I got to pay 10% more in construction,
For sure.
lean into it, get it done, rack the return. Because I'm an annualized return guy.
Makes sense.
Yeah, get in and out.
I believe that speed and execution is far better than perfection. Do you agree?
I agree. On the right product. Newport Beach needs to be perfect.
I understand.
Like it's got to be everything with a bow on it, or that buyer will not buy it.
Yeah.
And so, you got a big one going on.
Yeah.
Same-
Big
that
one right
thing's
down the
sick.
street. It's going to be amazing. You'll come to the open house. It's going to be unreal. But same thing every day. It's got to be perfect. You're right on that project. So the higher end project, it is more important to focus on that perfection. You can't do speed and have some, bad design, or you just execute and say, hey, we're done. It doesn't work like that. You have to create that emotional appeal. These are very specific buyers with a high level of net worth that want perfection. They expect perfection.
And if you deliver that, you can get paid well.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. So that one takes a lot more time and energy. So that one, I brought in a partner. They're running the construction for me because I was too stretched out. And I'm like, you know what? It's better to give away some equity on this.
Yep.
And so we structured that deal in a little bit different way. I'm getting a pref on my money, half the profit.
Yeah.
I'm designing it. I put the plans together. They're operating the deal. So someone's on site every day working.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I've learned in this business is you got to structure things to where everybody wins.
For sure.
And you're protecting yourself. Even though I gave up a piece of profit,
Yeah.
it's much more efficient, more profitable. But the kicker about those big deals, everyone sees them like they're the sexy deals. Oh, you do those, you're making so much money.
Right.
What people don't realize is they actually make less money. The annualized return.
Right.
Would you rather buy 10 $300,000 houses that you're selling for 5 or one of these? What makes more money?
Well, for me, all day long, and having done both, a million times over, I'll buy my low-income properties. First of all, you're going to sleep better. Second of all, you talk about the war and you have so much exposure. If that project and shit hits the fan, you're screwed. Forget about this upside potential. That is just exploded. You could potentially lose millions, 7 figures on that big deal. On your low-income deals, you stabilize, you rent it out, you sleep great, and you're making money along the way. These other projects, there's zero cash flow. The only way you make money is by selling. So this whole time you're spending money, you're paying carrying costs, and you're hoping that you get this big number. Hope is not a strategy per se, but obviously we're diligent about value add, buying the land right,
Yep.
you know, the engineering, the team. Same thing. I'm bringing in high-level designer. I'm putting a builder on there because you want to focus on what your expertise is. My expertise is not building houses. My expertise is not design. My expertise is finding and procuring deals and moving quickly and solidifying great relationships to deploy money, to leverage that money, arbitrage that money to get returns.
Yeah, you're putting
That's
all
my
the pieces
expertise.
together
Exactly.
and you're developing that
We're
project.
puzzle makers.
You know, but one thing I have seen is like this project in Newport. The numbers sound great, and they are great. They're fine.
Yeah.
Paid $6 million. We're putting in 1.5,
Yeah.
and we should be able to hit 10. Neighbor just traded at 14, so we're looking pretty good there.
Sure.
And that buyer pool is very healthy because people with cash have cash.
Yeah.
And the wealth gap's real.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it eats up so much cash.
For sure.
If you look at that as a straight annualized return, people go see that and they go, "That's $2.5 million in potential profit."
Right.
The cash on cash return on this deal, annualized at the end of the day, is going to be about 25 to 28%. I can hit 40% on a house that I can buy for 800. That house I was just talking about.
Sure.
And they're simpler, they're easier,
Yeah.
they're faster,
And you have a bigger buyer pool.
bigger buyer pool. But you know what? I do like that expensive buyer pool right now.
Okay.
Like what you're selling in Paradise Valley, what Newport Beach.
Yep.
People with money have money and they
Yep.
will buy.
For sure.
Whereas the middle gets compressed the most. I actually don't like the middle right now.
Same.
I like first time and super expensive. The
Yep.
middle that's they're more affected by rates, stock, hiring, tech. Like, you know, especially in Seattle when like tech stopped hiring.
Sure.
They went on for that put us into a spin. I lost a lot of money when the tariffs shot or when interest rates shot up.
Yeah.
People stopped hiring as much. We took a massive hit that year. And so, you know, I like the buyer pool.
Yeah.
If you put the right product on the right location, on the right lot, there is a buyer.
I love the fact that you've done the gauntlet from these low income to the ultra net worth, high level dispositions, these houses. Talk to the audience about, lessons learned on some of your biggest losses. Where do you get caught with your pants down, and how would you, mitigate that risk moving forward to help people not, lose on deals?
The cheapest house is not always the best house to buy. The ones I have taken hits on have always been the unknown timeline factors. Environmental, hillsides. I don't like hillsides. I don't like things where there's so much more into the permitting that you are passing your project to a city, to a county, and they are in full control of what you do, how you spend it, and how long it's going to take.
You're right.
Once you give over those keys, it can be detrimental.
Yep.
Where we've bought in homes, one of the worst houses I ever bought, one of the greatest locations you could be in, bad lot. And we paid $570 for this house. It was worth $1.3.
Okay.
That
Sounds great.
sounds great. Views, Lake Washington. It was in Leschi. Amazing neighborhood, $1 million houses all around us. The dirt was so bad that we got our permits, we jacked this house up, city comes by, like, this dirt's a little weird, your foundation's a little weird, you gotta go back from the city.
Wow.
It was gonna take 12 months to reissue these permits because of environmental, so then we tear the house down.
Wow.
We're like, well, if we're gonna wait 12 months, we might as well build a
Yeah.
house. Build a house. With how long that took, we were gonna crush the deal. We listed it the month after rates skyrocketed.
Oh no.
And we took a $300,000 loss on the house after working on it for 2.5 years.
Wow.
And so there's certain things I do not buy. I don't buy environmental. I don't buy weird. Like, I'll buy weird, but I'm not buying anything with permitting weird.
Got it.
Like, I just don't do it. Like, these views here, amazing. I won't buy on the hillside.
I understand.
If it's got a foundation, is ready to roll,
Right.
I'll look at it.
Yeah.
But just those unknown timelines is the biggest thing. And that's the thing. I used to buy the cheapest deal because it's like, oh, it's cheap. You
It's a
can't-
no-brainer. There's
No
no
brainer.
downside potential. There's no such thing as no downside potential.
No, even if sometimes you get a lot for free, it's not worth getting.
Interesting.
I mean, I have 5 acres right now that I've owned for 14 years. And it's in Woodinville, very expensive area. I pay property taxes on it. And I got this lot for free.
Wow.
If I could turn back 14 years ago and just not take that lot for free, I would have done that.
How did you get the lot for free?
I flipped the house and it came with an extra lot. I'm like, dude, I got these free 5 acres.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I keep this? It's swampy, it's wet, you can't do much with it. And so now I just sit on it. I'm like, well, eventually maybe it'll turn into something, but it's just a liability at that point.
Yeah.
It's not worth anything.
What are you going to do with that?
I'm hoping at some point, because now I've owned it that long,
Yeah.
either I thought about turning it into like a nursery,
Oh, that's interesting.
rent it to a landscaping company,
Yeah.
or eventually what happens in that area is water will get mitigated. They're going to bring in different utilities, drainage will be installed in certain spots, and we should be able to get something buildable. But now I'm like 14 years into it, I'm just stubborn. I'm like,
What about donating to like a rescue charity and you can get a tax write-off for the land?
I started looking into that too. That might be the right call on that.
Because then you can get an independent appraisal, you donate it, you get the tax write-off, and then somebody could utilize it effectively, you know, for animal
Have you done
rescue.
that before?
I have not, but I just thought about it.
No, I've heard this before. You know, that's a great idea. I'm gonna look into this.
It's what you call collaboration, folks. That's what you do.
Yeah, and if it happens,
interesting.
I'm gonna take you by a steak. I'll take you out of steak.
You're all good. There's a lot above me that sold at auction. It was 5 acres. And everyone's like, same thing. How are you going to do construction? Are you going to helicopter in trusses? Like, it's a nightmare. I mean, no one was buying it. Finally, someone bought it. They're building a 20,000 square foot home. I mean, they're just going, the views are incredible. But to build up there is so expensive.
What do you do?
I mean, that's...
Like building the pyramids, or they're like
you'll see
cameling
this
up?
house up there. It's crazy. I mean, it's nuts. Nobody wanted it. It's just the same thing. It's like major risk, 5-year timeline. You know, I like projects that you can see enhancements, improvements daily. I mean,
Yep.
you know, look, real money is made through delayed gratification. Nothing happens overnight. But some of the best projects are just these, like your first deal. You did the sweat equity, the carpet paint. You came in. You can either rent it or sell it. You made your $25,000 on that deal. Those are nice because they can move quickly.
I call those bill payers.
Yeah, they pay the bills.
They
That's
pay the
exactly
bills.
right.
They're actually, if you break it down on an annualized basis, you know, like if I got 100 grand and I can do 4 of those in a year, you can make 100% return on your
ROI.
money.
Exactly.
Or you can go buy a deal with 100 grand and you're going to do that twice a year, and you may usually hit 30% on
Yeah.
those. You're only making 60% on your money.
What's your deal? It's. I love to have this conversation because people expect, you know, all these investors out there that have done a deal or they're waiting to do a deal. They're like, I'm not going to touch it unless I make 30 or 40 or 50%. I laugh at that. What is your true expectation of ROI, return on your investment or your capital on these deals, standardized deals?
Threshold for us, minimum standard that we're looking for, and typically we leverage 15% of the total project.
Okay.
So we line up financing for 85%.
Yeah.
We put in the 15%.
Sure.
So if it's a $100,000 project, we're bringing in 15 grand.
Yeah.
If I'm doing that deal, we want to make a 30% return in 6 months. That's my buy box.
Got it.
And then that's where we'll start
And
really
that's
looking.
leveraged return, or is that unleveraged return?
That's leveraged, and
Right.
that typically equates out to about a 14% cash-all-cash return,
Yeah.
or I would say 12 to 14
Okay.
on just straight cash.
Yep.
So I'm a leverage guy. That's how leverage is essential for growth. Also, I like being the bank. That's my favorite part of this
Sure.
business now.
Of course.
That is definitely where I'm trying to go mostly.
Yeah. A lot less headaches.
I've done a lot of houses.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
You've
damage.
done. I've read over 3,000 homes.
Yeah, I think we've been involved now in like over 4,500.
It's unreal.
And that does buy and sell,
Of
trading,
course. Yeah, yeah.
multifamily, dirts,
Yeah.
lots.
Unreal.
So it's a lot of transactions. You get some fatigue.
How do you stay looking so sharp and young? You look good.
I guess I don't eat. No,
Oh, that's
it's
okay.
you got to work out. You got to stay on it.
Yeah.
So you know, that is definitely something that's like where I go. It's my place. I kind of shut everything off.
Yeah.
I like to hit the gym.
Let's talk about it. I mean, you have all these projects, hundreds of employees. You're flying for your TV show. You've got a beautiful wife, 2 amazing kids, a house over here. You got so many moving parts. How do you stay so sane and stable and make, you know, proper decisions, investment decisions with millions of dollars on the line on a daily basis? What is your routine to stay calm and be diligent as an investor?
I don't know if calm's the right word.
Okay.
Yeah,
You look like you're pretty calm.
I move.
Okay.
I'm a sense of urgency guy. So
Okay.
like you see something, you got to attack it.
Yes.
I'm definitely not the best person at giving advice on work-life balance.
Okay.
I love working.
Sure.
And that's okay. Like that is, you know, I always, people are like, I want to be like you. I'm like, do you?
Right.
Like, do you really? Like that's a question. Or I've had people on work with me like, I thought I just want to be just like you.
Right.
And then I saw it, and that is a lot. They're like, I don't want to be like that at all. I want to be this,
So
right? And everyone's got to do it for themselves. Everyone's definition of financial freedom or how they want is their own definition. Balance, what I've learned though, is when you grind hard, you work hard.
Yep.
The biggest thing that you can do for balance is when you're in the moment, be present where you're at. Yeah. So like weekends, I don't work weekends. I work late night weekends, like working on spreadsheets and floor plans and design. And but when I'm home, I'm home. That's why like a lot of times people are like, hey, can you do this? I'm like, nope, I'm with my kids.
I respect that. Yeah.
I gotta put the time in.
Yeah.
And you know, that's what I've learned. But I'm also trying to phase back a little bit. Like I do want to get bounced out. I mean, I would say between the TV show, my regular job is a 50, 60-hour week job.
Yeah.
Then you add this TV show on top.
Yeah.
It's you hit boiling point.
Yeah.
It's a lot more time because it's a lot of work. You've done this.
Yeah.
We're filming 40 hours in a week.
It's a lot.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And during the time too, you're not like, the problem that I find is you're so vested in that show and you're filming, your phone's not on you because you can't say, hey, cut, I got a deal coming in. You're missing opportunities. Yes. You're not making much by doing the show. I mean, it's good branding for you, but you're missing deals. And so as soon as they cut or you're going to lunch, now you're working through lunch, handling deals, putting out fires. It's massive.
Well, we're real operators on TV.
Right.
Like there is a set of operators that are not real operators.
Sure.
It's, you know, like even the production company that I work with, the director's like, yeah, you know, you guys are crazy because we're doing basically 20 houses over 10 episodes in a 5-month period.
That's a lot.
And these are heavy lifts.
Big. Yeah.
And so that is it is a tough challenge to hit.
Yeah.
Like, you're crazy. We've never seen this many houses going off at one time, but that's, I think, why A&E wanted to film us.
Sure.
Is
because you're a real
operator.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're in the trenches, you're doing it, it's not some facade.
Yeah, you know, like, that's why, like, TV flipping, a lot of it, you look at it and you're like, I can't watch that.
I know.
But people like you, myself, this guy Tommy, who's on Zombie Flips, they're real operators, and that's what's interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're real problems. Obviously, you gotta kind of freeze the problem sometimes because you're like, oh, we gotta isolate this and talk about this. But they're real problems, real headaches, and real challenges. Mm-hmm. And so that's, you know, I think that was part of it. Was like, you know, I watched all these people on TV, and I'm like, you don't really know how to flip a house. We're gonna show you how to do this.
Yeah.
And so. It'll be a good little checkbox that we did it. Never thought I'd ever do it, but I miss just picking up my phone, getting deals done, and doing what I need to do.
For sure.
Yeah. At the end of the day, that stuff's all great, but getting a deal done, nothing gets me going like just getting that.
For sure.
Signing that assignment, signing that contract, signing those closing docs. I don't even care when I sell them.
Right.
It's just a buy. Like,
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm addicted. It's in our DNA. That's when I first met you. I go, man, are we related? Like we took that 23andMe and we looked and said, oh, we are slightly, what are we, third cousins or something?
Yeah,
We're joking.
Was it Devon introduced? He's like, oh, you guys are like each other.
Yeah.
And within like 5 minutes, I'm like, what's the grossest thing you've seen?
Yeah,
and it was
true.
just like, because you just know. And that's what I'm excited about. The show, you know, we're wrapping up. We might do it down in Arizona. That was definitely the plan.
Yeah.
I kind of pulled back on that last minute.
Sure.
But it's to get deals going and just building that good group of I mean, your network, you can over network and meet too many people, but when you find a core group of people that are like-minded, you can really do cool things in the same market together.
Absolutely.
So, and that's what I'm excited about. Yeah. So August, I'm gonna be wrapped up with all these houses. I'm gonna get my money back because we got a lot of cash in deals right now. More cash than I've ever had. And then it's gonna be buy time. It's gonna be hot here. No one wants to come here.
Correct. I work through the summers here, you know, so I'm grinding every day, sweating it out.
That's probably got to be the best time to buy, right?
Every day is a great time to buy.
You
know, people try and say, time the market. I don't time anything. I believe in dollar cost averaging all the time. I'm constantly deploying because it's like Peter Lynch says, I don't need to be at the bottom and sell at the top as long as I get a big chunk in the middle. That's the whole key to this business. Being in the game, time in the game.
Well, and that's the key to this whole business. That is the thing I've learned. You cannot stop buying.
Correct.
If you are going through a crap market and you have got red all over your P&Ls because of whatever inventory you got going on, you have to keep buying because what you're buying in the replacement is always much better than what you just had.
For sure.
Because if you're feeling it, other investors are feeling it, and they get cold feet, you got to double down.
For sure.
And
I made a ton of money during COVID. Everyone was giving up earnest money. Everyone's calling me. They're like, Zach, are you buying? I said, I sure am. This investor passed, cool. Apply the earnest money to my deal, give me 10% off, and I'm your buyer. Boom, I was buying every day.
Oh, dude, that was
great deal.
That was, and it was part of it because we had so much earnest money out. and our clients were bailing out.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, I got to close because we have to close. That's the thing. Like, how you get deal flow is sticking to your word.
Absolutely.
Even if we don't like what just, it's like, not a new scenario. Like, if I'm buying a deal off you and you tell me it's on sewer and all of a sudden I'm going to close and it's on septic, that's a different thing.
100%.
But
That's misrepresentation.
That's misrepresentation. Yeah. But if you have a war popping off and oil shoots the roof and the economy gets all wacky, I still have to close because I committed to you.
Correct.
And that is the essential for growth in this business. Stick to your word, do what you say, and that's how you build a really good long-term
I've
reputation.
never canceled a deal in my entire life. I've never closed a deal a day late because of some contingency, not one.
And that's why everyone calls
That's
you.
why people call me. You want to be a guarantee in your market. They want to know that when they sell to you, you may not get the most money from me, but you can sleep at night knowing that deal is solidified, is done, the money's in, there's no financial contingencies, and under any circumstance, like you say, a war, an outbreak, I'm still closing. There's no like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and it's not that they're not getting the most money from you. You just know more. Like, when you know what we know, you know what the costs are.
Yeah.
You know, like, sometimes the performers will lie a little bit. And you know how to look at that and go, nope, I can pad, like, this is a little bit off, this is here, this is why I'm at my number. That is something completely different, because you're just you're giving them an honest number. And at the same time, that's how I buy. I'm like, I don't want to know what your assignment fees are. I don't want to know what your commissions are.
Yeah, it
I'm just
doesn't
going to tell you
matter.
the number.
Yeah, who
What's the
cares?
biggest assignment fee you ever paid?
Way over 100,000. I mean, yours was different because
Yep.
your deals are millions of dollars. So on my cheap, like on a $250,000 deal, or I bought a house for $200,000. The guy made $100,000, and I don't care. God bless America. People neglect the fact that how long did they cultivate that relationship? Did they work on that deal for 5 years? Did they spend $200,000 in marketing and all of a sudden that's the only deal they got in 6 months? You can rationalize that however you want. That's their deals. They procured it. All I care about is what's my price. You don't have to send me your pro forma.
Yep.
I'm going to do mine. I don't care if you put ARV at 700. My ARV might be 800, might be 300. All of that is irrelevant. All I care about is what's the pictures, right? Do I have access? And what's my price? Everything else, if you have to rely on someone else, you're gonna get burned because of course everyone else is puffing and exaggerating what they perceive the future value. And they're also gonna tell you that the rehab is gonna be, 60% of what you're truly gonna spend.
And a lot of it's just they don't know what they don't know.
Right.
They've never done construction, so how can that number be real?
Correct.
They have never sold a house on the market, so how can that comp be relative? And they don't know about our neighbor's got a meth house next door, or there's a junkyard in the back of this property. They're not thinking about the things that we've felt and lost money on.
For sure.
And so that's why I do the same way. I'm like, I don't need all the stuff. I just need pictures.
Yeah.
What's my closing time frame?
Yeah.
Is it vacant?
Right.
I'll kick you a number. And I will do one walkthrough.
Exactly.
We are earnest money released right away.
Absolutely, same thing.
In-
Especially if I don't know. If I know you now, so here's what's cool. I have a couple people I bought, thousands of deals from. I'll buy on pictures from them.
Yep.
And if hypothetically they omitted something by accident, which would be because they would never want to sell me a bad deal based on relationship, and I come in the house and say, oh my God, this foundation, you didn't take a picture of this crack, or the AC you said was 15 years, and I get in there and my guy says, this is 30 years old, they're going to take care of it.
Yeah.
So I'll buy knowing that those people will do right.
Yes, and that's that long-term relationship. But it's also key. You gotta let people make money.
Of course.
Like, that's what I think I'm good at doing. I think you are too. Like, when you meet, especially like, I got a soft spot for younger people trying to get in the business because someone gave me a shot.
Sure.
And, so if we can help those people accelerate and grow by giving them a dependable number, I do it a lot of times before they even go to their appointment.
Same. Because they trust us knowing that we're not going to backdoor them and say, hey, that's exactly right. James, Zach, I got this house over here in this address. Where would you need to be? And I give them a firm number. And they can go into that appointment with pretty much 99.9% definity and saying, reverse engineer, what's your acquisition price? Zach, I can get you this deal at that number. James, based on your number, I can do this. And you're like, great, we'll take the deal. That's a huge value add to people.
Yeah, and it's value add, and it puts the key. They don't expect to get paid because they put a contract on it. They're like, oh no, if I want to make more money, I can negotiate terms differently.
For sure.
I can negotiate it down. So you get to give them the keys on how much money they want to make, as long as our number is an honest number. And if you're buying the volume that we're buying, we have to be paying an honest number.
Yeah.
You can't get 1 million home runs, right? We buy 10 to get 1. Like all of a sudden, one home run pops
I'm
in.
aiming for singles, and if it turns
Yeah.
into double, a triple, or like you look to make 12 to 15% cash on cash unlevered returns. I look to make 10%. That's why I do a high volume. So I'm not trying to make all this money. That's why also I pay a very healthy number, because my expectation of yield and return is not crazy. It's very realistic.
Yep, and that's you have to.
And that's
be,
not an annualized return, by the way. That's just a fixed return based on that. So in other words, if I bought that house and flipped it in 90 days, that wouldn't be like I made 3% or 2%. Now I annualize it and make 10. That's just a fixed yield, meaning, I flip it and make that 10% over 3 months.
and that's cash invested, not
Cash
sale
on
price.
cash, not
Yeah.
just cash on cash. So that would be acquisition and rehab, and then I take that number. Let's say I buy the house for $250, I throw in $50. I'd like to make $30,000. Got to be all in for $300. My expectation is to net after fees, closing costs, everything else, $30,000.
Yeah, which is very realistic.
Right.
Like that's
Very.
and if you can't get a deal done in this market, when people are like, there's just no deals.
Right.
No, your expectations of a deal is off.
Correct.
Because if we're all buying,
Yeah. And we're making money, then what are you doing wrong?
yeah, your expectations are wrong, or you have the wrong team, and your contractor is charging too much, and you
sure.
can't make anything penciled. We spend more time chasing resources and contractors than deals.
That makes sense.
Because if we get our pricing down, we can create the deal.
Correct.
And
Your value engineering opportunity.
yeah, everyone wants to skip to the deal. It's like, well, how do you know that's that if you don't have the right team or team behind you?
Yeah.
And so, the more and that's why even down here, it's like, I can't believe you haven't bought down here yet. I'm like, I don't have my core team.
That makes sense.
Like, I would rather take on a partner
Yep.
than buy with no core team. I'd rather give away 50% of the equity.
Absolutely.
And have someone that knows what they're doing in the market. And that's what I was trying to do down here. And I'm still actively doing. And there's some great operators here.
Yep.
Like, we ran some ads just because we were going to run season 3 here.
Yeah.
We did a pivot that got delayed. But man, there's some great people here. Like, I was talking to them on the phone. I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah, no, you got.
They know their stuff.
They know their stuff. They're mom and pops operators. Yeah. They're putting in their sweat equity. And that's who I like to invest in, is like, okay, yeah, we're all trying to grow together. Do you take this serious or not?
Right.
And if they don't take it serious, you got to get rid of them.
For sure.
I literally had to fire an operator today. And I was like, I probably waited 2 months too long. And I gave them chance after chance after chance. And I'm like, okay, now this is a problem.
Yeah.
And so, that's the first time I've ever had to do it. Ever was this morning. I sent the email.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
5 months of punch list.
Wow.
How do you punch a house after 5 fucking months?
Wow.
Can you swear on this podcast?
Absolutely. You can do whatever you want. Yeah. Let's talk about, I'm so enamored by the journey, the deal flow in 20 years. You're doing 150, 200 minimum deals per year. So you go from early on and you're knocking doors and, you get the one deal and then you do your townhome, if you will, and you make the $25,000. Now walk me through from that $25,000 deal to then starting your own company and then scaling from there. Talk to me about how'd you achieve that growth and what ideas and knowledge would you like to pass on to people watching to scale to the level you've done, from the door knocking, you've been on the ground floor, to doing your first sweat equity effective deal, deal to today. It doesn't just happen overnight. Talk to everyone about the incremental scaling you've achieved.
Yeah, I think the important thing about scaling is finding out what you're good at and then taking that next little step. Where I see people get in trouble is they get the hot next top and they're jumping. Mm-hmm. They're going from, I'm going to wholesale to try to build homes.
Right.
Or I'm going to go from wholesale to, I'm going to take on apartment syndication deals.
Right.
And you're like, whoa, there's steps involved here. And so, how we grew was honestly by accident.
Okay.
And it was just all about, we have a problem, how do we create that solution? Mm-hmm. 2008 hits, right? So by then, we had already been doing wholesale. We were probably the best team in the state.
Okay.
Like, we were knocking out deals.
Yeah.
All old school door knocking.
Okay.
Then we started flipping properties. Owned a lot of rentals at that time. Or at least by 24, I owned 14 rentals.
Okay.
Or 12 or 14.
And why did you decide to go from flipping to stabilizing and holding? What was the notion behind that?
Honestly, because the guys told me I needed to do that.
Got it.
It was just like, all right, I got to buy rentals too. And I knew that's where the wealth was.
Yep.
But
do you still agree with, for the people watching, do you recommend doing what you did, starting out the wholesale, preserving some money, doing some flips, and then taking some of that money, cherry picking deals to hold? Would you do that again?
you have to keep the properties.
Agreed.
If anything I could have done better is kept more.
Yeah.
Because we were buying stuff so cheap in Seattle. But there's a time and a place. We also were broke. and we had to make money. And it was like, how do we pay the bills? How do we grow? So a lot of that money that we didn't leave in real estate, we invested back into our business, which got us to where we're at today.
Got it.
And so, you know, in 2008, when 2008 happened, we were really good at finding deals, but there was no deals to be made because no one wanted to buy them.
Yeah.
And it was like the lights turned off. It went from market's great, hey, something weird's going on subprime, to lights off.
Yeah.
And it was like no one was at the auctions.
Right.
No one was ready to buy things. Everyone was getting financially wrecked. I would literally find a deal and then go door knock the entire neighborhood to see if someone would buy a rental.
Wow.
Like, hey, do you want to buy your neighbor's house down the street?
Right.
I got a good buy.
Double the work.
Double the work,
Yeah.
just to try to make a check, right?
Sure.
Our goal at that time, we had just, right, we started our own company 2 months before subprime mortgages went away. And we're young guys not knowing what we're doing.
Yeah.
We knew how to put a deal together, but we didn't know about the finances and really the true, like how much the economy affected real estate. It was like, we're getting deals done. And we only knew what we knew. And so then what was happening is we find these deals, but no one will buy them.
Right.
And no one would finance them. I was starting to borrow at that time. So when we find a deal, we had to become really good flippers because no one will buy them. So we're like, okay, we're going to buy them. So I started borrowing money from straight loan shark style lender.
Oh, wow.
4 points, 18% interest. And I can guarantee you I was going to need to pay this guy back.
Right.
Like, and I love the guy to this day.
Yeah.
He took a shot on us.
Yeah.
And so we started getting good at flipping houses.
Yeah.
And we would make 15, 20 grand a house at most. And we would do ours a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
Like we'd throw in a tile backsplash. And it was like, whoa, right? Like these little things. And we got good at it. We got good at controlling costs because there was plenty of contractors and designing them. So people were noticing, but still no one would buy. And so we're like, all right, people need money. So that's when we started our lending business, right?
Okay.
We were good at finding deals, good at packaging them. They need money. So we got a partner. We got $1 million put together, which at that time was a decent amount of money for buying homes. And we could start financing our deals in-house. So we knew that the client could buy.
Yep.
We solved that problem. The next problem is people were too scared of the market. It was like everything had leprosy. It's like real estate had leprosy. No one wanted to touch it. So we had to mitigate the risk. So because I was good at contracting or in getting construction done, every deal we would buy, we would help them run the project. And this was for not a lot of money.
Right.
So we would like wholesale it, maybe make 10 grand, pay out our sales guys.
Right.
Then we get a loan. We were paying 12% for the money. We were lending at 12% 2 points. So we get the points. Not a whole lot of money.
Right.
And then we wouldn't charge for the construction. We would get a list back. And we were selling these houses for like $2,500 or $250,000.
Got it.
So we were doing
$5 grand on the back end or whatever.
Not a
2
whole
points
lot.
on the front. You're nickel and diming, but you're making money.
making a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And what the important part was, it created a business where people go, no, I'm interested in real estate again.
Yeah.
And the amount of work I had to put in. At one point, I was running 140 job sites.
Oh my God.
It was miserable. We had hedge funds buying, mom and pops buying, and I was like, okay, and we were running this all for free, just lining everything up just to build it. But that's what really put us in that competitive edge.
Yeah.
We had this high quality business
Yeah.
where people were making money, all built on customer service. So it wasn't out of greed. It was like, how do we make the customer and the client and our partner have a better experience all the way through? Mm-hmm. And by focusing on that went from where now we do a couple hundred deals a year with our clients because of the service and the quality checking that we put into our deals. Every deal we sell, it's my plan that I put on top of the house. And the client can do whatever they want with it, but they have a plan to work with.
Yeah.
And we give them access to resources, roofers, plumbers, electricians, to help them control that cost.
Yeah.
And so by doing that, it was just like, okay, we can find a deal, now we can finance it. They need help mitigating, so we started the brokerage. That was a part of our 3%, is to help them run and design the project.
Wow.
Cheap. And it was never about what we're making, it's how do we give a good business.
Yeah.
And then once 2010 hit, the market started getting some legs on it. We had such a competitive edge over everybody. We were starting to rock out deals and making some serious money on the investment space.
Yeah.
And to this day, we still run our businesses that way. It's a total pain in my butt.
Right.
The brokerage is a pain in my butt.
Yeah.
Because you are dealing with newer operators.
Are you the broker?
I'm the broker, but we have a team. I have 5 acquisition brokers on fix and flip, a couple on multi. We have 4 listing brokers on our team that are my co-list brokers.
Yeah.
But those listing brokers are listing brokers on steroids. The day the client buys, they're walking it, they're going over the floor plan, they're designing the house for them, they're picking the colors, and they give them a full plan. And so they're more like project managers and designers with broker sales skills.
For sure.
And so it's a lot of work, but it's a high quality business that, you know, I have to be able to sleep at night. And so this is a risky business, and I want to make sure people have every tool available to where they can be successful.
Yeah.
Now, Arizona, I'm not doing this. It's a lot of work. I just want to buy some deals down here, partner with some people, and then build out a rental portfolio for my kids. That is my 3 things I'm doing.
That makes a lot of sense. Sounds like your whole thing is the whole plug and play, right? I mean, they come to you and they're like, hey, find me the deal, help me manage the deal, bring me the resources, bring me the money. But let's play this, devil's advocate. You do all this stuff for these clients where you're providing them the hard money, you're listing, it's kind of your ideas in terms of the branding and the remodel. Why not just eliminate that and do it all for yourself? Because obviously these people are making money on these deals. Why wouldn't you just procure these opportunities for yourself and put your own hard money on there and make the full upside potential?
Well, I mean, there is a couple of things, but I have a great staff. People have been with me for over 10 years. Okay. If I shut that arm down, there's people going to need some jobs.
Sure.
So I have staff loyalty. I'm now at a point where I'm starting to really build in, I'm giving up more and more equity out of that company and giving it to my key operators.
Got it.
To where I can step back more. So I'm starting to put that layer in. But part of it is multiple income streams are how you can make it through any kind of downturn.
Makes sense.
Because some years flipping homes sucks.
Yeah.
You're not making money.
Absolutely.
Development, it can suck.
Yeah.
Brokerage, it can suck sometimes.
Yeah.
But one thing I've learned is we have so many different income streams: wholesaling, broker, lending, flipping, development, syndication, property management for our portfolio.
Yeah.
Usually 2 are not doing good that year and 5 are, right?
That makes sense. You're a well-diversified machine, which is very intelligent.
Yeah, no, because if you're going through a hard time flipping, you want checks coming in to cover that cost. And so, you know, the fee-based business does provide cash flow. Now, I got to work a lot harder for that money. Flipping's hard, but this is like a lot of clients in client service. And also that business kind of cannibalizes my own flipping business, right? We're giving our roofers and our plumbers.
That's my point. I was just saying, why not just do it for yourself?
It's because in those bad years, and that's what I learned out of 2008, you have to have multiple income streams, because when all my chips were on the table and I was just flipping, just wholesaling, and I'm isolated to one box, when that market came and the wheels came off, my wheels came off with it.
Yeah.
Right now, rates shoot up. When rates shot up, we took a massive hit on flipping and developing.
Yeah.
Probably lost $700,000-800,000 that year.
Wow.
That's a big number.
Yeah.
We were fine because the brokerage was making money, the lending business is making money, and so it can pay for it, right? And then when you hit the good years and all 7 are hitting, it's an ATM.
Right.
And so, you know, it's a way to mitigate risk. So it's a lot of work, but every step was very, very intricate in, you know, how we grew and where we're at today.
Makes sense. Outside of real estate investments, are you in equities? Do you invest in Bitcoin? Are you always solely invested in projects, hard money lending, and real estate based diversification?
I'm a real estate guy. I during the COVID times, you know, I think we all bought that. You know, I like got TD Ameritrade app, and I'm just gambling.
Got it.
I'm like buying
That's exactly
and
what
selling
it
stocks.
is. That's gambling.
Totally gambling.
Yeah.
And then you get, you know, everyone was winning, so I'm like, I'm really good at this.
Right.
And then my dumbass shorted Tesla hard.
Oh, geez.
I lost $100,000 in 9 months.
Wow.
Shorting Tesla, and I took my loss, took my write-off, deleted my app, and I stick to real estate. It's just what I know. Like if I'm going to invest in stocks or anything, like I'm going to give it to someone who's professional.
Right.
But that's just not what I do. So I like to be able to control it.
Same.
I can't control a stock price
Not
at
at all.
Microsoft.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I always find, and I worked on Wall Street before trading.
Did you?
Yeah, worked for Prudential Securities on Wall Street doing zero cost collar options. And basically what I learned by being
You're an
in
option trader?
Yeah.
That you're
I was-
sharp
I
guy.
was
That's
19.
why.
Well, no,
That's why
whatever.
you're rich. No, if you're an option trader, you're a smart dude.
The bottom line is, what I learned is, you know, your hope, it's a big company. Someone can go on CNBC, some inside employee releases information. There's a whisper, a rumor, and it affects your whole position just from some person talking on a news channel. The stock can go down 20 or 30%. It's not going to happen on your real estate portfolio.
No. Well, not very likely.
Not a whisper like that, but something monumental in the economy. Sure, the market can go down,
Yep.
but not because of one person disclosing some, hey, we missed our earnings and whatever it may be. So it's very finicky, those markets, where real estate from a macro perspective doesn't have that same level of risk.
No, and with what you're doing, that's why I love your asset class. You can rent it, sell it.
Right.
But also, you could be doing something nice and pull back real quick. Like if the market shifts and the appetite from the buyer pool shifts, I can respec out an entire house and switch it from nice floors to more basic floors.
Sure.
I can pull my costs back. So I like being in the driver's seat.
Yep.
If I'm in the driver's seat, at the end of the day, if that thing crashes, it's my fault. And I can handle it if it's my fault.
Right.
But when I'm like, hey, CFO, what are you doing? Like, so we're control freaks.
Like I said, there's no better bet in business and with your own capital is us as the captains of our own domain. No one else cares more about our money than ourselves.
But and I like being in control. It's worked out well.
I know you're a control freak.
Yeah, I just like to be able to put my hands on it, even if it's weird.
So do you ever see yourself retiring, or what does the future hold for you?
The goal, I'll never retire.
What are you, 40 years old?
I'm 42, man.
42.
I'm getting old.
Keep
I even
going.
got back problems.
Back
By
problem.
the way, I think I found the best masseuse ever.
Really?
Oh.
Where?
I'll give you, I'm not telling anybody because she has limited schedule, but I will tell you.
Thank you.
Dude, this lady is a miracle worker. I saw her yesterday. For the last week, I've been waking up at 3 a.m. with back pain.
Wow. I've got a great place here as well. We'll share resources.
Okay.
of
We're
course.
gonna, we'll
I
swap,
got you
we'll swap
covered.
tables.
Yeah, 100%.
They
I
walk
got a
on
table
you?
right here.
They walk on you?
I don't like the walking.
Ooh,
but
I like
they
that
do.
walk.
But they go, I like deep. I go as hard as you give me. These women sweat on me. They go so hard.
Yeah, you get their just foot
Give it
right
all
in your
to
back.
me. Give it all to me.
Yeah, break
I'll be
it.
doing deals face down on the phone. They're like, oh. I'm like, well, you don't like the price? I said, no, she's going extremely deep in my shoulder.
Yeah. She's breaking some backs.
That's what we're doing.
But-
All right, so the next 5-10 years, what does that look like for you? Where do you see yourself?
So what I'm trying to do over the next 10 years, right? Because operating deals, being an operator, that's what I am. 7 different businesses.
Yeah.
And so I'm layering in different management. I'm okay leaving more money in that company to give out. It's really about just the lending and the partnerships.
Okay.
Because, when you're running more and more projects, you got, that you wake up and your email's on fire.
Yeah.
This permit issue, this contractor, this punch list, this buyer inspection, whatever it is, tenant issues. So it's, for me, I still want to do deals. I still want to go, but I want to bring in more partners where they're taking on that heavy lifting. And so that's what the premise of, so when they approached me about flipping homes, I was like, this is what I'll do for the show because this is real. And that's where people find a deal. And I'm investing in the deal, but also the operator, where I'm lining up all the debt, the financing. I get to sign off on the plan, but I want to invest in people, not just a deal, and let them operate the deal because I'm trying to free up more time. I will say I work a lot. I like to get, when you call me for dinner, I'd be like, yeah, let's go eat dinner.
Right.
That's not really on my schedule right now.
Sure.
And so the goal is over the next 12 months, once I'm done filming, is to really get focused down here to where I'm really not operating deals myself. We'll do 1 or 2 as a family at a time, but I don't need to do 20.
Yeah.
And those other 10, that's going to be with people and just providing the capital, doing what I need to do, which is owning my role, financing, putting the money up, and letting them do what they do. And investing in people and deals for the short term. Now, rentals, I'm still going to be doing those ourselves.
Yep.
And so it's to get more passive and really focus on my kids' goals now, not my own. Like, my kids are 10 and 12. I don't know if they're going to college or not. That's up to them. But I would rather have them, like me and my wife were talking about private school. And I was like, I'm not doing private school because private school's, it's like 20, 30 grand a year. It's crazy. I'd rather take that 30 grand and invest it into a house for them every year. So by the time they get done through college, they have a portfolio that they can do what they want with.
Yep.
And make their own decisions, but really just focus on family, get more time back, and really invest in people. So that's why down in Arizona, it's good. I'm in a different state. I can't put my hands all over things, and just focus on people in August, where I'm just going to meet with people, find out who I like best, who I like minded with, and then what kind of deals they do. That's what we'll be looking at.
I love that.
Yep.
To help you out too, obviously in Arizona, how do people reach you in Arizona through Instagram, or how do you want people to contact you if they feel like they could be a resource for some sort of joint venture or opportunity with you here?
I'd say Instagram's probably the easiest. It's just J Dane Flips. Or you can reach out to me on even Facebook Messenger. I'm not the best with tech.
Yeah.
But just send a DM and make sure you don't look all
Spell that
spammy.
out for the group. So if you feel you can bring value to James or he can bring value to you and there's some sort of synergy, reach out to him. We want to give value to, everybody. Spell it out for everybody.
So it's J Dane Flips. JDAIN Flips. FLIPS. I don't even know how I came up with that name. It was a long time ago.
Simple.
Yeah.
People overcomplicate everything,
Well, we're gonna do a
overanalyze
deal.
everything. We're absolutely going to do many deals. For
Yes,
sure.
we're gonna be doing deals.
Well, you watch
So-
out for our deals. They're going to be nasty, that's for sure.
That
You
is-
got some nasty $1 million plus houses or $100,000 house. I'm going to make sure he gets dirty from the low level to potentially the high
I
level.
got a question. Did you
Yeah, go
ever
ahead.
got a rash that didn't go away from a deal?
I never had a rash because I'm diligent. I've learned a long time ago. You got a rash that never went away
Dude,
from a
we
deal?
almost made a story on the show. Literally, I had this rat. Like, it was, oh no. Look at that. Still running. I thought I was like, I need some antibiotics. I'm in some gross shit.
Molly, bring out the antibiotics and the alcohol.
You've never had
please.
that. It was
I've
like
never,
2 months.
I literally, people think it's just media. I'll put on a hazmat suit when I'm walking through a nasty. I'm not touching anything. I'm not wearing shorts in these. I'm not letting anything brush on me.
Oh, see, I just
throw
get in
away
it.
the shoes.
I just get right
I
in
know
it.
you do. That's your problem. I'm not going to my dermatologist after one of these. Not
Dude,
worth it.
I don't know. I like it.
I know you do.
It's
I
a-
love watching it. Look at. By the way, what's the most expensive, crazy thing that you found? Did you find gold or money in any of these houses? What have you found?
We did get, and we much needed. We actually made more money on the gold than we made on the
You
house.
found gold.
So we bought a house at the auction.
Yeah.
It was a townhome. It was packed full of stuff, like good stuff. It had
Yeah.
some keyboards, like expensive ones, guns. And randomly our demo guy calls us like, I found some gold. And I'm like, wow, he called us.
That's so nice.
And at the time, we found it was like this melted brick of gold. And it was worth 90, well, probably should have kept it, but we needed the money at the time for sure. It was $9,500. We made 15 grand on the flip.
Wow.
And so it was like,
You needed that gold.
we found that. Yeah, that was a major win. So
This is a great story. My massage therapist was enamored by these hoarder shows on TV, and he's like, Zach, do you ever? What do you do with these houses? You send your guys in to clean them out? He said, well, of course, yeah. He goes, will you let me clean out the next one? If I find anything, we can split it 50-50. So sure enough, like a week later, it was like manifested. His name is Jaron. I said, Jaron, it's your lucky day. I found this nasty townhome. He goes, cool, I want to clean it out. Anything we find 50-50. I said, absolutely, no problem. 3 hours into him cleaning things out, he's like, boss, come over here. I found all this cash. I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I thought he was joking. I said, send me a picture. And it didn't really come through. It took a while. And all of a sudden it popped up and I see a wad of cash. I'm like, all right, I'll be right there. So I drive over. $20,000 in soap boxes he found by diligently searching in this. Same thing, the house was $65,000. He found $20,000 in cash and is mad at my word. And fact is that he called
Wow,
me.
good dude.
That guy probably should have taken the 20. He goes, we looked at it. We didn't have counted. I just put it next to each other. I said, here you go. And he
Wait.
rolled, I swear to God.
Dude, that's your kind of guy.
$10,000. He's like, forget massage. I'm just going to clear out orders.
that never got told to us.
What's that?
Think about how many things we did not get.
100%.
And you know what? Good for them.
Absolutely.
I say demo guys, you got a crap job. You find something, I don't care. That's yours. You can keep it.
But 50-50, 10,000.
50-50.
That was game changing for that guy.
Dude, I did a house that was one of the worst houses on Hoarders, and I had no idea it was going to be on the show.
Oh,
You got to Google this. The
Okay.
Poop Lady House.
the poop lady house.
Joe Rogan just had it on his podcast. They were talking about this house.
And this was yours.
2010. I had no idea. Bought this house sight unseen. My contractor was like, it was gnarly, dude.
Yeah.
Like jugs and jugs of poop in this house.
I've had that where the plumbing doesn't work and they're just defecating everywhere.
This
It's
lady
so
hoarded her
gross.
poop, and then she would put it in microwave bowls, and then she'd eat out of the bowls that she'd moved the poop with.
What?
It's Google. Watch this, Hoarders. It's gnarly.
That's gross.
And I get a call from my contractor, and he's like, "Turn on A&E right now." It's full circle, right? Back on A&E. He's like, "Turn it on." I'm like, "Dude, I'm with my." He's like, "Just turn it on." I turn it on, and it's my house. And this is 2010 when real estate wasn't great still.
Yeah.
And this lady's dumping poop in my yard, and I'm like,
Oh
no,
my God.
no. So we bought the house for $175. We put in $150, sold it for $475, and
That's a
everyone
great
knew
deal.
it was the poop lady house.
That's called going from shit to a hit.
You know what it's worth now?
$750.
$1.5 million.
Wow.
Should have kept that one.
Hindsight 2020.
2020.
But you redeploy that money, so you've already made money. You still would have probably been even. That's what people don't think about. They think like, well, I should have done this. But the reality is, if you just stayed in cash after you made a great sale, you're never going to go broke taking a profit. So I never fear, oh my God, I should have kept it. And you can think about that. But as long as you redeploy that money or dollar cost average into market, you're going to be great.
You can't worry about the deals you didn't do, or even the deals you wholesale. People are like, oh, you should have kept that one. I'm like, no, I
made money. I never look back.
Yeah,
I never look in my rearview mirror. We're going down the street. I just care about staying in my lane. I'm not, worried about anyone else. I got my blinders on. I stick to my niche, and that's it.
And that's how you make decisions. If you look back, you start double thinking yourself on everything.
I never overanalyze
You never get a
anything.
deal done.
Yeah.
Once you make the decision, move on. Who cares?
100%. I don't lose sleep over any decisions I made. It's already done. I can't change it, and that's it.
Yeah.
What other great advice? I mean, 2+ decades of incredible experience buying the best of the best and the worst of the worst. What else value can you provide these audiences in terms of maybe raising private money, projecting on social media, houses to focus on, markets to focus on? What is some amazing advice you could provide and give value to this group?
I would say the two biggest things are, A, shut off the noise on social media and the podcasts. People get way too distracted by the next trend. And they can't be efficient, right? The reason we've both been good at what we do is we know what we're good at.
Yeah.
And then if we do something, we take one step over. I don't look at what anyone else is doing.
Sure.
Don't care. Good for them. I'm glad they're crushing it, doing it the way they're doing it. But if I start jumping around, you become very inefficient.
Makes sense.
The other thing is scaling. Being the biggest in town is not the best. You can do the most amount of deals. You can do the most flips. You can do the most run. That doesn't mean you're being efficient. And there's a sweet spot. And I've had to learn that. Like, I could do 40 projects at a time. We have the capital. We can do that. But then I'm being inefficient. You have to find out what your sweet spot is. And there is a sweet spot to every business. Wholesaling, flipping, development, heavy operational ones. You can overstaff. You can do more deals, but you're making less money. And so what are you good at? What's your market's capacity for what you're doing? What's your capacity? And then stick to that. Then look at the next piece that you can make money with that, but don't try to break it. Because I've broken my businesses numerous times where I'm trying to get too big, too fast.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you just can't manage and run that many sites and be efficient and control your cost. So don't overscale. Who cares about whatever people are doing? They're doing all the deals. That's fine. What are you good at? What's your capacity? Stick to that. And then if not, then start bringing in partners when you want to start bringing in more capacity.
That makes sense.
That's why I'm doing Arizona that way. I don't have the capacity with what I got going in Seattle. So I'm going to partner with people rather than just do it myself. You don't have to be on your own.
I love that. And has it been easier for you to raise capital, or like you say, give up maybe half the equity in deals by bringing in strategic partners, or when you're raising money for people, what advice can you give to them about getting that either hard money or private? What's your preference? Hard money if you're using it for yourself, or you're probably just funding yourself with your own hard money. But prior to that, did you go out and get hard money or bank money and private money? And how did you procure that capital?
Yeah, I finance a lot of deals myself, but that's for certain types of deals. I'm also, if a seller wants more, and they'll give me better terms and longer closes, I'll get different financing on it to control the cost. I'm a guy that when I give a seller an offer, it's like, hey, it's Monday, I'll close it by Friday, and you'll have your money.
Right.
That requires a lender, like my lending business in trust funding is like, we can close, we have no appraisal, we can close in 24 hours. It moves quick. That's the way I negotiate with sellers.
Sure.
If someone, there's a time and a place, so I don't use that money in California on a $6 million loan.
Right.
Like that's more bank financing on that. And so, the biggest thing, you have to have access to capital. How you get access to capital is relationships. And that's what everybody skips over. I get this all the time. People DM me, hey, do you want to do this deal with me? Look how great this deal is. I'm like, who are you?
I get that, yeah. Who
Like,
are you? You don't even have a picture in your profile.
I would rather invest in a mediocre deal with somebody I know
For sure.
than something that looks like a home run on paper with someone I don't know.
That's a great
You got to warm people up.
Yeah.
Like, are you like-minded? Reach out, get to know them first. Every
you
person, like even me, I don't take money from very many people because they have to be like me. And if they're not like me, I don't want the headache. And so like I interview people when they're trying to invest in our deals and I'm like, nah, we're not quite the same. And that's okay. But building those relationships, how you get more access to capital.
That is huge. I love that. So you can have the greatest deal ever. You reach out to James or myself. We don't know you. There's no introduction. Hey, how are you? Let's build a rapport. And it's just strictly about a deal. Most likely it's not going to happen because it's relationships over the deal.
Everybody we do that we take money from on our deal. No, syndications. We raise lots of money. Our hard money fund. We have over 60 mil raised for that fund, right? Our syndication company, we're raising 4 to 5. We don't do big deals. We're doing like, $5 to $10 million deals in Seattle. But we raise 3 to 4 million. We know every one of those people very well, what they do, who they are. They know us, right? They've been investing in us for 10 to 20 years.
Yep.
We don't just take the money to take it, because then you're doing a transaction, and I don't need more transactions. I need long-term relationships and partners.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be a transaction. I don't want to treat someone like a transaction. If I'm doing that, I'll be a broker. I'll make plenty of money and I have to bring in money.
Brokerage is a transaction for the most part.
Yeah, and so it's about building that relationship, and people hit me up all the time like, well, you don't want to invest in my deal? I'm like, I don't know you.
Right.
Like, you have, like, tell me a story. Are you, and if you're new, don't act like you're not.
Right. Be authentic, be vulnerable, be transparent.
Yeah, you have to be authentic and real. Like, hey, if I'm a new flipper, I'm new to this, but I'm a contractor. I don't have any money.
Right.
But I got a deal. I know how to do construction. How can we sit and chat? That's a conversation I will have.
For sure.
Of, hey, I flip all these properties in this state and I crush it, dude. Check out these deals. Let's do some deals together. Dude, you've been crushing it during COVID. Everybody was crushing during COVID.
Yeah.
Like, tell me your story. Are we like-minded? And if that's the case, I will go deep with people. I'd rather have the other suggestion I have, less partners is better partners.
Sure.
You don't need, but just make sure you guys align. Me and my business partner have been together 20 years. That's very rare.
For sure.
We've maybe had 4 arguments.
Got it.
We know what we do. He does his thing, I do my thing. We check in with each other. We have 100% trust with each other that we're doing the right thing. Even if a deal goes bad on my side or his side. Yeah. It's never like, you screwed this up. It's, hey, that's the way it went.
Yeah.
We know you did everything. I don't even have to ask him. He did everything that he was supposed to do and more to make sure we didn't get there, and we got there.
Sure.
And so, less partners and the right people are essential, because you bring in the wrong people, you get lawsuits, you get headaches, you get like
contamination.
Yes. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah,
you're contaminating your environment. I've had some
100%.
recent contamination.
We only want contaminated houses, not relationships.
I like that. Yes.
It's a good way of putting it. All right, final words. This has been epic. I love that, not treating anything like a transaction, but of course like a relationship. You've got incredible advice, incredible experience. Final parting words for this audience that you could leave somebody on, legacy thoughts.
I will say, in this business, we always look at people, like, especially when I was new, it was like, oh, these guys are doing great. They're so, like, you look at them, like, oh, look how rich they are. Or, I'm not even rich, but it's like, look how well they're doing. And you compare yourself against other people all the time. Don't do that. Be worried about what you're doing. And if you're passionate about this business and you're having a hard time and you're thinking about quitting, I thought about quitting probably 10 times in my career, where I'm like, I'm done with this. And the best thing I never did was not quit. Go, what's the problem? How do I fix that problem? And every problem is solvable. Whether it's a construction problem, a partnership problem, a business problem, it's all fixable. And when the clouds are dark, just keep going and align yourself with people that are just keep pushing through that. Because this is a market. You're going to have good times, you're going to have bad times, and you have normal times. Don't quit on the bad times. Because I almost quit by like at least 5-10 times in my career.
Wow.
It's, and it was like, I'm ready to go. But best thing I ever did was not quit.
Yeah. Stay the course. It's been epic. I'm proud of you. I'm proud to be your friend. Your journey. I look forward to doing some nasty deals with you, maybe some clean deals too.
We're doing some pickleball.
And have some fun and more relationships and more memories. I appreciate you. This was epic.
Dude, this is
great job. Thank you so much.
You're going in the heat.
If you got value, like and subscribe. Who do you want to see as your next guest? List below. And reach out to James for some nasty $1 million plus deals. Pacific Northwest, Arizona, and anywhere in the United States, he's got your back. But build a relationship, not a transaction.